Mobile to find out more.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of At The Races. This is the Ladbrokes Life.
Good afternoon, welcome. Our final bulletin of the day. We've got some fresh news for you as well. We've just got the news that there are 17 left in the Queen Anne Stakes on Tuesday at Royal Ascot. The latest declaration stage has just come through. And look at this, our graphics team have been working amazingly quickly to type these out. Well done to Sarah and Tim. There's A-Rod topping the list. Bellano's on there, Dick Whittington, Cody Bear, Lightning Spear. Limato has got that as an option too. Time Test, and of course a very strong lineup of fillies lining up. Amazing Maria, Aveja, Esoterique and the mighty American mare Tepin down there at the bottom of the list, all receiving weight from their male counterparts. What a race that promises to be to get things underway. What about the St James's Palace? Well, this is another treat because the three Guineas winners are taking each other on again. The Irish Guineas winner, Ortard, Galileo Gold, who's successful at Newmarket, and the Gurkha, who went in at Chantilly, all having a crack there in a three-way go. And Emotionless has been declared in there as well for Team Godolphin, who might just be the joker in the pack. And latest Ascot news can be found on our special macro site at theraces.com/Ascot, in which the team gets stuck into all sorts of stats and predictions, forecasts, etc. Gary Nutting with his long-term anti-post tips on there as well. Lots of statistics about where to look for the handicap winners, etc. from the likes of Paul Jones. And Martin Kelly there has written a piece on some of the international stars that are coming over to grace the turf next week. One of which is Sha Tin's very own Gold Fun. Gold Fun has been around the block a bit out there in Hong Kong, but he's coming over perhaps a year after they'd intended because he had a bit of a setback, as his trainer Richard Gibson explained to us when we spoke earlier.
We just had a chip in his ankle removed last year, so we've campaigned him lightly this year. He's had 6 runs this year, and much looking forward to the challenge of Ascot in 10 days' time. Fantastic. And it's a horse you've known very, very well. You've done extremely well with him over the years. He started off as a miler, Richard, didn't he? But he's almost got quicker as he's got older. Well, yeah, he's been a great servant for us. He's won, I think, over 54 million Hong Kong dollars, which is, a fantastic achievement. And he has, as he's got older, he's got faster, and we think he'll be suited to this 1200 straight at Ascot. Yeah, a nice stiff 6 furlong trip for him. The ground is something that might be of interest to you, but I guess when he was training in Ireland, he did race on a yielding surface then, didn't he? Yeah, as long as we don't get extreme soft ground, I think he'll be able to handle the conditions well. How do you think he'll fare over the straight 6 on this occasion at Ascot? Well, it's one of the reasons we're bringing him. I think the 1200 in Hong Kong it's a bit sharp for him. It's on a turn. So we feel with the uphill 12 on the straight will suit him because he's more of a 1400-metre horse. Wish him well. Be excellent to see him here. Gold Fun running in Saturday's Diamond Jubilee, one of the highlights on the final day of Royal Ascot 2016. Today we're going back to Yarmouth for the first time in several months. Terrific that they're racing there again, and their track looked in great order when we saw Jim walking on it earlier on, nice and level and flat and safe, most importantly. Ferryhouse also alongside. There, 15 races for you all afternoon. The only evening fixture tonight is at Kempton. We're not covering that. There are also meetings at Beverley and Haydock Park. Fast ground everywhere, as you'd expect, even though there's been quite a few heavy showers floating around, particularly in the southeast last night. Well, a very noisy storm last night. Now, there's also a storm brewing as well down in Cheltenham because Any Currency looks like being disqualified from his famous win in the Glenfarclas cross-country chase. Real shame, the 13-year-old, having finished second in the previous 2 runnings of the race, set to lose it on a technicality following a blood test post-race.
And his trainer, Martin Keithley, clearly is not taking it all that well. We spoke to him earlier on.
Well, it's first flagged up by my physio, Maggie Turner. I've worked with her actually since I was 16 at David Nicholson's, and she treated all these horses. So, yeah, she's always treated my horses ever since I started training. And she just felt he's a 13-year-old, and when she checked him, she just thought he needed some help with his hocks. We medicated his hocks just to give him that pain relief.
So, obviously, you're advised by your veterinary team, as you've just said there, and normally they say it's this 14-day stand-down period. I mean, you trebled that, didn't you? 42 days.
That's the thing, we've gone actually beyond that, and just we're overcautious, and that's why it's just so devastating for the team and just everyone involved.
How has it played out? When did you hear first that the horse was likely, Danny Currency was likely to lose the race?
Oh, crikey. It was just before Aidan Coleman came into the paddock to ride him in that staying chase at Cheltenham, his last run.
In April?
And I had a phone call from the BHA. They told me then and gave me the option if I wanted to pull the horse out. And I was just astonished what they told me, because obviously he'd have such a big gap, and yeah, I said I'm happy to run the horse, and that's the day I knew, and to watch him go out and win so impressively again was just amazing. When is the inquiry actually going to be heard now, Martin? Have you been told? There's been no set date at the moment, so yeah, just going to work with the BHA with their inquiries and yeah, set a date and see what happens.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted on that story as well. But Brian Toomey featured on the front page of the Racing Post today. Brian, of course, who came back, amazingly, having cheated death at Perth in July of 2013 when he suffered a fractured skull and had to have part of his skull removed for a very complicated operation, I should say. Coming back to the saddle was an achievement enough, but it hasn't gone as he'd wished, and he's going to be giving up the game with riding his last race at Stratford next Tuesday. His quote is quite telling, really, isn't it? I genuinely didn't realise it would be so hard, he told Lee Modderhead of the Post this morning. Speaking of jockeys in the wars, great news that Michelle Payne, the heroine of the Melbourne Cup last November on the 101 shot Prince of Penzance, has left hospital in Melbourne. She, of course, had a bad fall recently and had to have quite serious abdominal surgery. She says that she's keeping her options open and should just work out what she wants to do. But coming back to the saddle still is an option for her, she was saying. We'd hoped that we'd see her at Ascot next week, maybe next year, if she decides to stay riding, of course. And Sophie Doyle, of course. Sophie went off to America a couple of years ago, and she was doing pretty well out there as well. Had a nasty fall at Churchill Downs a couple of weeks ago, breaking a collarbone, and younger brother James gave us an update.
She took a nasty tumble at Churchill on the dirt, just two horses kind of closed on her as she was weakening out, and she caught a heel and went down, and she's had an operation on her collarbone, which it was missed at first. She thought she was told it was a clean break, but she was quite sore, so she went back for a second opinion, and it was quite nasty. It was shattered in about 4 bits, so she's had it all pinned and plated, so she'll be off for I think 3 or 4 months. So it's a bit of a shame for her, but look, she's been doing great out there, and I'm sure our contacts will be there for her when she comes back.
They're both doing great, aren't they? And James, in fact, went across to Germany at the weekend and won the German 1,000 guineas on the Hugo Palmer Train Hawksmoor.
Nice surprise. Always nice to pick up a ride for Hugo. You know, he's going so well, and no, nice to get the opportunity. She did it well. Yeah, there was a little moment where halfway up the straight she didn't kind of pick up as much as we thought, but that's why we just popped the blinkers on her. But yeah, she toughed it out quite well in the end. So yeah, nice. Now
let's catch up with Andrea Atzini. Andrea, riding probably the best horse around at the moment in Postponed, who was absolutely imperious in the Coronation Cup at Epsom last Saturday.
It's a pleasure to ride. He's a proper racehorse, and you know, very lucky to ride a horse like him.
Did you feel that your pacemaker was given a really good ride in the race as well to help you? Like everything worked out perfectly?
Oh, of course he was. No, Jack did a great job, and you know, he's a very good judge of pace, Jack, and he did a great job. And he ran a blinder as well, and he finished third. So No, delighted.
And obviously you'll meet 3-year-olds eventually, but against the older horses at the moment, it's hard to see anything better than him, isn't it?
Yeah, at the minute, yes, yeah, you think he's the best older horse around.
Couple of bits of news that emerged over the last hour or so. New Bay, who of course won the Prix du Jockey Club last year, finished third to Golden Horn in the Arc, didn't run quite so well behind Aishin Hikari in the Prix d'Ispahan last time out. Worked this morning at Chantilly, didn't please Andre Fabre, and he won't be making the trip over for the Prince of Wales' stakes at Ascot a week today. And Robin of Navan, who flopped badly in the Prix du Jockey Club this year for trainer Harry Dunlop, has come back with pulled muscles, which would explain why he didn't show his best form, sadly, last Sunday. Finally, our congratulations go to Sky Sports' Ed Chamberlain, because Sky of losing Ed to ITV. He's become the new face of ITV Racing from January the 1st next year. Top assignment for a top bloke. So well done to you, Ed, and we wish you every success in your new role. Time now is coming up to 11 minutes past the hour, and Race Day Live is coming up very, very soon.
Ladbrokes, proud sponsor of At the Races. This is the Ladbrokes Life.
TSB believes that the more you put into a partnership, the more you should get back, and that's what they call plusness. That's why their Plus account gives you 5% on balances up to £2,000. Plus, cashback if you spend with your contactless card. Plus, even more cashback if you use your credit card too. So why not switch to the account that gives you more plusness the more you use it?
This is the moment someone wins the car of their dreams. The moment they get behind the wheel for the first time. It's the moment they hear us say, "You're the winner." There's a guaranteed winner every week at BOTB.com. £16 million of prizes have already been won. Tickets start from just £3. Enter now and get £5 for free at BOTB.com.
They hogging the broadband again, eh? That is so uncool.
It's always so slow.
What we need is a little speed.
I was going to say what we need is Sky Fibre. It's even faster than you.
Really? Fast enough for you?
Demand more. Switch to extraordinary Sky Fibre. Sky, believe in better.
You've come the distance on a Virgin train, so you're not just in the zone, you own the zone. This is your date with destiny. Time to run like no fish has run before. You are fortitude in fish form. You have a black belt in limb loosening. You don't walk on water, you dance. You're a lean marine running machine. You come, you run, you conquer. When it matters big time, Virgin Trains, be bound for glory.